Hello, my name is Bruce. I wanted to go a little bit over about how I take care of my Hoyas. Um, with the amount of Hoyas I've been getting in, I thought that would be a great time for me to kind of give a little care instruction, or at least my care instructions. So, a quick little side note, all of my Hoyas are in either my east-facing window, that is directly right here in front of me, or they're on the shelf right behind me. Now, the way how I have this organized behind me is certain shelves receive a little bit more direct sunlight in the mornings than others, and so I kind of base where the sunlight hits on the needs of the plants themselves. So I try to give the plants a lot more, or especially my Hoyas, a lot more sunlight than all of my other plants. So I think the biggest thing to talk about with my Hoyas is watering and just knowing when to water. So I have a few examples. And so watering really quick is very, very dependent on the plant itself. So you're gonna have to learn how to feel out your plant, see what your plant specifically needs, especially if it's none of the few that I have here in front of me that I'm going to show off. So in my last video, I did a Gardeno's unboxing. So the Mindoriensis, I stated that that one needed water, and the way that I knew is you can see that with this one leaf, it's super floppy, and it should not be. Hoya leaves are super succulent for the most part. There's maybe a few that might not be as succulent, but for the most part, they should be pretty succulent. They should be really firm. So the fact that this is pretty floppy means that it does need water. Let's see. So I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick this up, but on the back side, you can start seeing some of the wrinkles starting to form. And so it's kind of like the leaf has sunk into itself in a way. So it kind of got a lot of dimples. And some of my other Hoyas, like my Hoya Australis Alba Marginata, that one will receive more of those wrinkles than the leaves going floppy. And I'm assuming that for that one specifically, because it's so succulent, you don't want it to go floppy. So another example would be my Hoya fungii, or Hoya fungii, whichever. So the newest leaves, so when it comes to newest leaves, they're always going to be fairly soft. And so that means that they're going to be kind of fragile. And it's kind of like the same thing with your typical aroids. So with anthuriums or with philodendrons, you really don't want to touch the newest growth. If you do, you do risk either ripping the leaf or losing the leaf overall. And so what I do is I look for the older leaves and I kind of give it like a little bend. Now, when I first got this, these leaves are really succulent. And now, if I just kind of like tap down, you can see how floppy it's already starting to become, or see how soft it actually is. And so that's how I know that this one needs water. So this one is my Hoya polyneura, or my Fishtail Hoya. This one is different from the others, as in these leaves are not succulent at all. The leaves are fairly soft, and so like even if I did tap down, they're just kind of malleable. And so after doing my research and everything like that, I found out that this Hoya does not like to dry out for too long. What that means is that you should not let this Hoya go bone dry. It's okay to let it dry out in between waterings, like that's what you should do, but do not let this Hoya go bone dry. The minute that you see it go dry, that's when you know that it's time for it to be watered. I think I read somewhere where in order for you to get it to bloom, you have to introduce it to cold nights. Now, I'm not sure if that's what the case is, and that's why I'm getting new growth, because for the last few months while I've had it, ever since I've gotten it, it never put out new growth, and until my AC had turned on for the summer, it's finally starting to put out new growth. So that's really exciting, but besides the point. So again, overall, this Hoya specifically needs to make sure that their soil is not bone dry. The same thing with Hoya linearis. Hoya linearis does not like to go bone dry. I kind of learned that the hard way. I spent $55 plus shipping on, I think, 3-strand Hoya linearis, and it was fairly long. It was about 2 to 3 feet, and so it was a very, very nice piece, but I did let it dry out for a little too long, and so it started drying out from the base versus from the tips. So again, you kind of have to really monitor and research the plants that you're, or the Hoyas that you're getting, because their care in knowing what when they need water is very variant within the family. So the last one that I wanted to kind of use as an example is this Hoya erythrostemma. So a lot of my Hoyas are very, very succulent, as in even if I push down on this leaf, it does not give at all. This Hoya is super, super succulent, so even if I lightly pushed, it does not give. And that's what you want to look for a lot of Hoyas. You want to make sure that the leaves are fairly firm. And again, if they're not, then that's how you know that it's time to water. This one specifically, it does not get the wrinkles like I stated with my Hoya fungii or with the Hoya mindoriensis. And so knowing your Hoyas and really knowing when they need water is going to be really beneficial. So you'll most likely need to baby your Hoya for like maybe the first couple of weeks that you have it until you finally figure out when to water it. Now, when I say baby your Hoyas, do not keep on watering it, you will kill it. But what I mean is just constantly check in on it until it gives you signs that it needs to be watered. And then from then on, you could be like, oh, okay, let me just check on this Hoya. Oh, it looks like it needs some water. I'll go ahead and water it. And so that overall is how I take care of my Hoyas, more or less. I just kind of go up to each of the plants and I just kind of do a squish squish, and if they soften, then I go water. If they don't soften, or if they don't give, then I just leave it alone. In terms of grow lights, I've never dealt with grow lights, so I have no idea what to tell you about that. But overall, that's how I care for it. So east window, just water whenever needed. Do not overwater it. Oh, soil. Soil needs to be fast draining. Most Hoyas are epiphytes. There are going to be some Hoyas where it might need a little bit more moisture holding, like perhaps the Polynera in the Hoya linearis. But overall, they do prefer to have fast draining soil because they are semi-epiphytes. And so they really do need that room to grow. So my Hoyas are all in different potting soil. As in the Hoya mindoriensis, it came in with just potting soil and perlite. So it looks like it's just potting soil and perlite. So 50% of soil and 50% perlite. My Hoya polynera is in cactus soil, the same cactus soil from Miracle Grow. It's just pretty good so far, so I'm just gonna leave it. And then some of my other ones, depending on who I bought it from, they have a mixture of coco coir or some other materials. Apparently I can't remember how to speak. But yeah, so it really does range. Would I move it into leca? No, personally I don't care for leca. it seems like it's a lot more work for me to go put it into luck than it is for me to just put it in soil. So that's where I stand on leca. I do know some people that does use leca, and so you'll have to join Facebook groups or different forums for that. But yeah, I did lighting, I did watering, and I did soil. I think that's everything. If you guys have any other questions or comments about how I care for my Hoyas, definitely leave it down below. So I guess until next time, I'll see you.